Hello, my beautiful light beings. Welcome back to the Magic Exists podcast with Dani Margeaux. This is the first podcast that I am recording for 2026, and I am so excited to welcome guest Elizabeth Planson. She is a soul purpose activator, intuitive spiritual business mentor. Her purpose and abundance activator method activates her clients' soul's purpose and gifts, regulate and rewrites their nervous system, releases subconscious blocks, and manifests the abundance, impact, and joy their soul came here to experience. Elizabeth is also an international best-selling co-author of the book Manifesting with Purpose, Aligning to Your Soul's Desires. She lives near Chicago with her loving husband, two daughters, and two dogs. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for this conversation. This is my first podcast of 2026 as well.
Yay, I'm so excited. All right. And so the first question I like to ask all my guests is, what is your strongest clair and how does that represent in your life?
That's a hard one for me because I use multiple clairs. What is my strongest clair? I would say for me, it's purely claircognizant because I do channel quite often, right? And just kind of like let things flow with my clients and my life and just like this knowing of things. And I'm like, I have no idea where that came from, right? Like how I knew that or it just happens so often. So that's like for me, I feel like my strongest clair. But I use clair. I'm clairvoyant. I'm clairaudient. I'm clairsentient as well. So like I really am able to tap in all of them.
Yeah, so beautiful. Claircognizance is also my strongest. I feel like it helps support you in developing that level of trust for yourself as well with like anything that you do. And I
Yeah.
love that I just recorded a 2026 kind of like predictions podcast right before this, and I love that you wrote in your bio that this is like very much about like making your impact, right? Being in your purpose and your impact. And
Mhm.
I definitely think the energy of this year is like stepping into that sovereign power, stepping into your purpose and understanding that like it's not your purpose isn't necessarily like what you do, but it's who you are and like how you move through the world. And so, can you share a little bit about, yeah, your like method that you've created around purpose and like really, stepping into your power in that way?
Yeah, so I love that you said that it's not always about what you do because that's like what I point out first and foremost when people are like, what is my purpose? Or if I'm teaching about soul purpose, right? First and foremost, our sole purpose is to grow and expand. This is my belief, right? Like to experience life to its fullest, like everything that we're meant to do. And it's not just about like our work or what we do or how we help others. It's every aspect of our lives. So with my method, it's really kind of honoring all pieces of our lives and all parts of it, right? Yes, our sole purpose is very important, right? Of what we came here to do and help others. That's how we're going to, live in fulfillment to help change the world, right? And live in this true essence of ourself every day, but also kind of activating these different pieces of our lives that make it such a full experience, such as living in abundance, right? Being able to experience the things that we want to experience in this life, whatever that may be for you. And it's different for everybody. So it really is kind of like a both and it's not one or the other.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I've been feeling into the energy of 2026 with a lot of like the year ahead readings I've been doing. And I feel like this energy of abundance and specifically financial money is coming
Hmm.
through. And so I really feel like a lot of light workers and way showers have been doing a lot of work around worthiness, right? And the energy of their worth measured by productivity, doing versus being, and understanding that we are born to become our truest selves, become who we want to be and not what we do, right? Our worth is not measured by that. And it's been a lot about rewriting that and stepping into our power and anchoring that sovereignty from within. And so I'm curious about manifestation
Hmm.
and the energy around that. And so like how can a light worker who is doing the work around worthiness and taking up space utilize that manifestation tools to maybe call in more abundance or more money this year?
Well, I think the biggest thing is remembering and knowing that abundance is your birthright. right? Like you don't have to earn it to be able to have it. So if you, whatever amount of abundance, wealth, money, whatever you want to call it, that you want, you can have, and you don't have to perform certain tasks in order to achieve it. And this was something that, we are conditioned to believe, right? That we have to work really hard to get the amount of money that you want. Or like, this happened for me, right? Like I received an inheritance and it was kind of like comments were like, "Well, you didn't really earn that. Like you didn't do anything for it, right?" And it did hit me and I was like, they're right. Like and do I deserve this, right? Like do I actually deserve this? But like you deserve abundance in all forms. And so it really is about opening yourself up and allowing this abundance, this money, this wealth to come from all places in all ways, both expected and unexpected. Because when you're like, I only want the money to come from this source, right? Like from my work. You're cutting off all the other possibilities that abundance and wealth can come to you, that the universe wants to give you. So it really is about opening up and knowing that it is your birthright. And I have more to say about this, but I don't know if you have a question in between yet. Okay. So another piece of this is the expanding our capacity to receive, because your nervous system sometimes is not calibrated to be able to receive, a large influx of whatever it is, clients, money, whatever more that you're getting, right? And so what happens is your body contracts, right? If we don't do that nervous system work, the inner work, we end up self-sabotaging ourselves, and our body is like unintentionally figures out a way to get rid of it, right? To release it because it doesn't feel safe holding it. So it's really also in part important, which I was not taught this when I first learned manifestation, about expansion of our nervous system and our ability to hold more. So those two things really need to go hand in hand when you're doing this, like doing the nervous system work, the expansion work, regulating your nervous system, right? And then expanding it so you can hold more. So when you do finally, call it in, when you receive it, you actually hold on to it and you don't get rid of it right away.
I love that so much. And my listeners know how much I think regulating your nervous system is so important. And after coaching hundreds of clients, I've learned that everyone just wants to feel loved, accepted, and safe. And from
Mhm.
that foundation, you are able to create all these other things. And the things you said about those limiting beliefs of like, I need to work hard to make money, right? That's a limiting belief. And you are
Yeah.
limiting yourself. And that's something I have had to rewire. And I love what you said about like releasing any expectation and surrendering to the abundance of the universe and not allocating it to a certain source. Cause this was very
Mhm.
much my work last year where I got married and I moved and all these things are happening and ended up my fiance and my parents paid for my wedding. I didn't pay for it. Right. And so
Mhm.
that was one of those lessons of like, do I deserve to be given this like abundance of this like dream wedding?
Right.
I had to learn that like I am so powerful that I'm calling in all this abundance from these different places. And it doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily have to be from my business right now, right? And that can come later and that can come in divine timing. But it's like having this high level perspective that is able to open that for us, not only for within ourselves and our nervous system, but within the energy field that we are calling in and having available to us. Because when we limit the abundance to XYZ, then you're limiting the abundance that the universe wants to give you.
Yeah, exactly that. And to even piggyback that, right, is it's also kind of like if we are not allowing others to give to us and we don't receive it, right? And we push it away, there's two things here. You're telling the universe, oh, I actually don't want more abundance, right? Because the universe is like, I'm trying to give you this money. I'm trying to give you this abundance. And now you're telling me you don't want it because you're refusing it, you're pushing it away. So then it's going to stop bringing you abundance. But also, like, this might be part of you, whoever is giving you these gifts, right? Or this abundance, part of their journey, part of their lessons of being able to give freely, right? And that makes them feel good. So we're actually doing a disservice to those trying to give to us in their own journey by not receiving, with gratitude. And that can be part of your lesson here too, is just learning how to receive as well.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Something I've been working on recently is honing in more on gratitude. I feel
Mhm.
like that is one of the first things, you learn in the spiritual awakening journey of like how
Yeah.
to raise your vibration and match your frequency. And I feel like I kind of went away from that, because I feel like I've been so high level and kind of just going through life in the present moment. And I was like, okay, I need to ground this gratitude. So every day I've been writing down three things I'm grateful for. And I feel like I've been able to transmute that in a
Good.
way that is supporting me again, even at this level of, my awakening, 4 or 5 years in. So I'm curious for you and your students or clients, are there any tips that you give them for someone who maybe it has been working on maybe they're regulating their nervous system a little bit, but wants to deepen that practice for themselves to open their capacity and be able to receive more?
Yeah, so I teach my students Kundalini yoga for nervous system work and nervous system capacity. It is something that I have found that has completely been able to change my life in so many ways because it's such a healing modality and there's so much in there that you can do and use it for, and that really does help get your nervous system in a centered and safe space, right? That's and I do have other ones that I use a collarbone breath work, which you can get on my website. It's a freebie. It's just called collarbone breath work. That's going to regulate your nervous system every day. So those are like the two top, and I also have a freebie for Kundalini yoga as well, like an intro to it if you're interested in it. It's not always like difficult or scary if like some people have that kind of myth that it's like untouchable, but it's not, because the way that I was taught and we teach it is in such a modern and accessible way. So I would love for you to experience that. But so like those are a couple ways to use about expanding your capacity. But I love what you said about gratitude, like coming back to that, because I did the same thing, right? Like where I was like in the beginning, I was like journaling every single day, like 5 things I'm grateful for now, 5 things that I'm manifesting, and I'm grateful that it's already happened. And then I fell off of it because I'm like, I got this, like it's good, right? Feeling that call to come back to it. And, I actually got this practice earlier this year or last year, I was saying, like, forget what year we're in already, from an author. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but his practice was so like, duh, like this makes so much sense. Was kind of like listing out 5 things you're grateful for that you have in your life right now in this present moment. 5 things that you're grateful for that you've already manifested, that you've already brought into your environment, your world, right? And then the 5 things or however many things that you're wanting to call in, right? That you're wanting to manifest. You write them all down and then you mix that list up. So, like, you kind of like mix them up, like whatever you want to do. And then you're reading that whole list of like, say, 15 things, because what that is going to do is it's going to allow your subconscious mind and your nervous system to accept those things that have not happened already as fact now, because you're mixing it in with things that are already fact. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you use like, the conscious as well as the mental body and like really utilizing like the whole, mind, body, and spirit. And I want to talk a little bit about Kundalini yoga because I don't think I've had a lot of people talk about that on here. And the point of all of it, right, is come back to the body. We are so disconnected from the wisdom from our bodies in this like
Mhm.
mainstream media, in this like allopathic era of medicine. And so like the wisdom of our body, right, is like the signals, the triggers, the anger, the happiness, the joy, the density, right? Like the sickness, right? This is a lot. These are whispers of your body to get you back in to listen. And so these practices, right, like breath work and Kundalini
Mm.
yoga are helping you ground back in your body because your body is the vessel for the cosmic wisdom. Your body is the vessel for whatever that abundance you're searching for. And so grounding deeper into yourself will only help you access that more. And so I'm curious if you could just share a little bit about like for a beginner, like what is Kundalini yoga?
Yeah. So Kundalini yoga is basically the practice that you do to awaken the Kundalini energy that we all have. Kundalini energy is essentially our life force energy. It is the truest expression of ourselves, our fullest potential. And for many of us, almost all of us, it has remained dormant because it was basically pushed down from conditioning. And, you should be like this, you shouldn't be like this for, as kids and society, what we're not supposed to be. So many of us are walking around actually not the truest version of who we're actually meant to be. So awakening that Kundalini energy is what we want to do. And so we use Kundalini yoga to prime the body, to kind of nourish it, to gently awaken it. And it is this energy that is said to be at the base of your spine, kind of like in a coil. So that's why you'll see a snake kind of representation of the Kundalini energy. And basically, through the movements, the breath work, certain mantras, hand positions, eye gaze, as we call them, you're putting pressure on different meridian points in your body and that are connected to the energy channels within our body. So that's how we're moving energy through our body, but coming back, like you said, into our body, right? Really feeling it. And we like to say there's a Kriya for everything. And so a Kriya is an exercise set. So it's like determining the movements you're going to do, the hand position, the mantra, and basically like anything that you are dealing with or you're wanting to work towards. You want to be more creative, or you're, angry that day, or you're dealing with addiction, or you want to focus more, you want to awaken your intuition, your personal power. Like, I mean, I can go on, right? Like self love, all these things we have the ability to do a certain mantra or exercise set, as we call them, the Kriya for that thing. And I mean, I've manifested beautiful things just from starting to do this. Like the expansion that I've received. I mean, there's a Kriya for just that's like for expansion, right? Like expansion of your aura, your energetic body, your life. Like it's just so powerful. And so that's kind of like the basis of it, but really it's used to be able to connect you to, source energy and yourself and live as this truest expression of yourself.
Yeah, I love that so much because I feel like the last few years, the light workers, way showers, right? We are unraveling that safety, right? The root chakra and the sacral, which feels very sacral, right? Creativity, the joy, the
Mhm.
pleasure, like these energies that we've repressed for so long, not only within ourselves, but like our ancestors weren't safe to be creative or pleasurable or joyful. And that wasn't
Right.
something that was permitted. And so it's like reactivating this true self within us. And I see it even in the solar plexus, right? Stepping into our power, feeling worthy to
Mhm.
receive this money, worthy to start this business, worthy to take up space amongst others. And that is what we are like being called forward towards. That is this new earth energy. And moving into numerology year one, everything we've learned, we are now being called to implement, right? And so
Mhm.
it is really about stepping into your true self and who that is. And it's like that is the space like slightly outside your comfort zone where you're a little excited and a little nervous
Yeah.
and surrendering to the uncertainty of the fear and continuing forward in that way.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that so much.
So anyone who is like, so a lot of my listeners are moving, from the 3D to the 5D, moving from that like victim energy to the energy of like, oh, every experience and lesson is for, a soul contract that I chose. What can I learn from this so I can step into, my highest embodiment and be the best version of myself? How do I feel worthy of all these things? And so anyone who is, a light worker or way shower, are there any tips for them, I guess, like where to start? Because I think the gap is like I see myself being this like radiant, priestess or goddess, but I don't know
Mhm.
how to maybe like how do I step in my purpose? How do I know what my purpose is? Like, how do I know if this business that I desire is my purpose? Like, is there any guidance for them to like kind of build that bridge between where they are now and like where they envision themselves?
Yeah, so I love this question because it really is like, you can get this nudge, but you're like, where do I even start? And it's scary. It's really scary. I mean, trust me, I've lived it, right? Like I was in the same career for 15 years and then all of a sudden got this nudge, like, this isn't it. You're supposed to do something else. And as a business major, I was like, okay, well, what else am I going to do here? Right. Because I knew I was meant to help people in some way, but I had no idea how. And I knew it wasn't like businessy why I mean, I do business stuff, right? And I do business mentorship, obviously, but it's so different now. And for me, it was really just opening myself up to spirit and kind of like, and at the time, I had just started dabbling in like my spiritual awakening, right? Like started learning about manifestation and source, how we're all connected. And so kind of asking God, like, show me the way, right? Like bring me the opportunities. And that was exactly what happened was it kind of was like this following of the breadcrumbs, right? Like when shortly after I kind of made this declaration, like, I don't think this is what I'm supposed to do anymore, but I don't know what it is. I found a Facebook group, right? And inside that Facebook group was a post about finding your soul purpose reading. So I did that reading. Then I found my mentor, right? And who helped me open my psychic abilities and healing abilities. And then again, feeling like this nudge that there's something more here and asking spirit what it is. Found my next mentor, right? And for me, it's been on social media and through connections, right? And found my, mentor for manifestation and mindset coaching, learned about that. And then again, having this so you see what I'm saying here? It's been this evolution, this process of evolution and growing where now I'm, helping people find their soul purpose, become activated in their next level, their soul gifts, opening those up. But I didn't start there. So it has been a journey for me. It has been an evolution. And it was always just having that nudge, right? Like you have that nudge. So ask spirit, ask source, God, universe, whatever you resonate with, show me the way. Bring me the opportunities that are going to help me, the mentors, the books, the classes, whatever it is that are going to help show me what it is that I actually love to do, that I'm passionate about. And so with that too, you can ask yourself, like, well, what do I love to do? And at that time, I didn't have really any hobbies besides scrapbooking. And I was like, well, I'm not going to scrapbook. Like, like I don't want to do that. I don't even scrapbook anymore. I don't like doing it anymore. But you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know what I liked. So allowing yourself to explore, to play, to have fun, like maybe it's taking a new class, an art class or a music class or whatever it is, right? Like experiencing new things to figure out what you actually love and what you actually have a passion for. And then you can also look at things of like, what are you actually really good at? And not good in a sense of like something you've always done, right? Like, and so I know, like, I was a meeting planner. I'm good at it. Like, I know how to do it. Like, great, wonderful. But like, also, I'm good at leading people, right? I'm good at being the initiator. I'm good at people come to me for advice, right? In all my past, lives or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's like kind of taking account of like, what would people come to me for help with essentially? And taking all of these things, and that's going to help you kind of guide you towards what it is that you're actually here to do and let it evolve. It will evolve over time.
That was magic, Elizabeth. Oh my gosh, just like everything you said, so beautiful. And it really is leaning into that curiosity of what you want and what you desire and exploring that. And I've spent like 15, 20,000 on coaches since 2019, life coach,
Yeah.
classes, coaching, exploration. And it's like leading those with those breadcrumbs, right? Like someone said Reiki.
Hmm.
Oh, what's Reiki? Let me try that. Oh,
Yep.
whoa. From there, it's like, okay, what's the Akashic Records? Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with this. What is this? All I
Hmm.
want to do is be in the Akashic Records every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, from that, okay, I think I'm going to do readings. That was so helpful for me. It transformed my life. How do I help other people? And it
Hmm.
comes to this point where in the beginning, you're very much like kind of like a lost sheep. And you're just kind of like, okay, I'm following the next step and the next step, but you're kind of like wanting to know how and why. And this is like the part that your soul wants.
Yeah.
This is the exploration. This is the exploration of your soul. This is why your soul reincarnated here, to know itself more. And so this evolution and bringing of expanding your consciousness through this awareness that you're moving through is important. And you
Hmm.
get to this point where you are co-creating life with the universe. And so you mentioning like, hey, universe, show me the next step. And you begin to create this intricacy, this blueprint in front of you where you begin to understand the energy being placed in front of you. You begin to understand that, like, oh, if I call it in, I do see this Facebook group, or I am brought this podcast that they're talking about the Akashic Records, and I'm going to now listen to the Akashic Records or get a reading because this changed my life, right? So it's
Hmm.
really not knowing how is the reason. Like, you're not supposed to. You're
Right.
supposed to trust yourself, build that trust, follow the next thing that inspires you, that lights you up. And then from there, the next step will undoubtedly come because of your intentionality, because of your desire, and because of the divine guidance. The universe is so intentional. And by thinking you're like only alone in the world is such like a disconnection from like reality, and understanding that like there's so much many more forces at play that are supporting you getting to where you should go.
Yeah. I mean, everything you just had magic come out of you, right? Like that was so beautiful. Like I couldn't say it better myself, you know. And the only thing I would add is like just spending time in meditation, right? You know, but even still, I spent so much time in meditation. And I remember I was asked every day, like, what is my purpose? What I'm here to do. And then finally one day I heard teacher leader. And I was like, cool, but about what? Because at the time I was like so brand new. I was like, what am I going to teach others? And like you said, when you found Akashic Records and you had that reading and it changed your life, it was the same thing for me with manifestation and mindset work, right? It completely changed my life, like 180 about everything I believed, how I, you know, showed up in the world. Like I was like, I wish everyone knew this. And then it was like a light bulb, right? Like, hello, teacher leader, about this thing that I know that I love. It just unfolds so naturally when you allow it to.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And when you work with these different levels, right? So like the physical body, and then the mental, the emotional, the etheric, the causal, the spiritual,
Mhm,
right? Like all letters of the layers of the auric field, and you unravel and you heal past lives and you heal karmic loops and you heal soul contracts and you expand into love and abundance and safety and acceptance, right? There is this physical ramification of like you finding your purpose, but there is this also energetic frequency and vibration you move into it when you are in alignment with your purpose and connected to God, universe, source. And it's like the impact and influence that you're wanting to make, right? This mission driven desire you have to help others happens not only in this physical realm of like us teaching, us sharing our voices, and obviously seeing the physical repercussions of that impact and influence in a beautiful way, but also this energetic imprint of vibrationally influencing anyone we touch or come into
mhm,
contact like with any experience. And you come from that energy, right? Of just like, I am alone in the world, victim, to
mhm,
like, oh, whoa, we are all one, we are all together. And if I am a little happier, or if I'm a little more inspired, just walking into Starbucks with someone will like, can activate their energy field in a
right.
way because your energy is so vibrant and light. And it's been this like, just know, like, looking for your purpose is not only helping you, it's helping the world. It's helping the collective.
100%. And that is like kind of the basis of my purpose, right? Like I'm an activator, I'm an initiator of people's to step into their full purpose so they can go out and touch other people's lives and just creating this huge ripple effect. Cause like you said, yes, we're all connected. So the more of us that step up into this purpose or even just into a higher vibration, right? Into a higher frequency, we're going to be able to change the world because we're going to touch more and more people's lives. So that's kind of like the basis, like I said, of my purpose is helping people realize how they're here to help others, and they go out and help people, and then those people go and touch other people's lives because now they're elevated, they're raised up, right? And that's what creates this beautiful ripple effect. So it's so powerful. And again, you know, your purpose doesn't always have to be this thing that you do. It could just be your purpose, like, is to help heal your family lineage, right? And the wounds and the karma patterns, whatever you believe in that came with you, and your relationships. And that alone could be a purpose, right? Of being able to help the world in some way.
Yeah, and especially what you said, it evolves. Like, what you believe in this moment can evolve or expand in the next moment and next year,
Yeah.
because you are always growing and evolving. And last year, I spent a lot of time in the 3D where I was planning a wedding. I was going to
Mhm.
traveling the world for my mom's 60th, planning, my best friend's bachelorette, going to her wedding. And so it was very much in the 3D. And how I lived my purpose was in those moments of maybe doubt or stress or hurt. I chose to be the version of me that I wanted to be that version that inspired and loved in those like small moments, right? In those small experiences. And through that, I inspired, and whether I saw the repercussions or not, like I mean, my relationship with my family has completely changed in the last
Mm,
few years of doing work with, my mom, my dad, my sister. And obviously this isn't like actually communicating with them, right? This is all inner work, right? Inner
right.
triggers, like healing those wounds, inner child work. And because of that, I was able to step into this wedding planning with such love and
Mhm.
receiving. And it just like was so divinely timed.
I would like to also point out too, like how you said I was living in the 3D. Like, don't forget we are humans, right? Having a human experience. So it's okay to live that 3D reality, right? To experience the now and be present. So I think it's beautiful that you spent that time really being in the moment, being in the present, being in the 3D, because really that's another reason we're here, right? Is to have this human experience and everything that it has to offer. So it could be both and, right? Like you can be in the 5D, but also don't forget to live in this reality because that's why we're doing the work in the 5D. So we can have this 3D reality that we truly love and want to experience.
Yes. And another theme that came through for me last year was feeling guilty for having so much joy,
Mm.
which is like a big one that I've been able to really transmute. It's like, I'm okay and give myself permission to rest more. As a
Mhm.
manifesting generator, I need 10 hours of sleep, even if my husband only sleeps like 7. Like giving myself those little permission slips that like it's okay because that is what our guides want. Our guides, all the experiences and lessons we have, whether you lose someone who's passed or go through a heartbreak or something very traumatic and hard, it's how you are able to insource peace back into your heart through that moment is like what's most important.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that so much. And yeah, I'm a manifester. So that was like just learning that, like you said, like giving myself permission to take a nap because I need that kind of rest period in the day, like, I have spurts of energy was, like, life-changing for me too. I was like, "Ugh, I'm not a lazy person, like, I need a nap," right? Like, you just need to rest, and it's really just, like, when you're understanding who you really are and allowing yourself, I think that's the biggest thing is, right, like, giving yourself permission to just follow what your body needs, and again, that's, like, coming back to the body, right? Like, stop letting society tell you how you're supposed to operate on a daily basis, but like go inward and ask yourself, how does my soul want this body to operate on a daily basis, right?
Yeah, and I'm curious with the clients that you are seeing, if anyone's looking at the YouTube video, I feel like I have like a rainbow on my
That I was gonna
face.
say it's amazing. Like, like it's colored rainbow right now.
For any of your clients that you've been seeing, has there been like a collective theme that you've seen coming through towards the
Yeah.
end of 2025?
I think it's not even like the end of 2025. It's been almost all of 2025 and even some in the year prior. Is the light workers and, the way showers, like, really almost still being in this fear of judgment, right? Judgment from others, the community, their friends, family, whatever it is, and hiding their gifts, not fully expressing what they do and what they can do, right? Like kind of watering down their message or not posting or showing up on social media or because they're afraid of, because they come from a small community or they come from a more I can't think of the word I'm looking for right now, but traditional maybe the word family, and so they're so worried about being judged, and it can be hard, right? Because relationships may change, we may have friendships that fall off that aren't the same. And it can be very sad and it's okay to grieve those. But when you know, like, you have this purpose and it's bigger than you, it's almost like you have to just move forward with it, right? And not be afraid of what others think. And those that are meant to be with you, that are meant to continue on with you, will love you regardless, right? The others that don't, they're not meant to continue on with you in your journey. So it's kind of like it doesn't mean they're wrong or they're bad or anything like that. It doesn't mean anything. It's just meant that the time that you guys have together, whatever it is in that way, is has now completed because you are now evolving to this new level, right? And so that's the biggest thing I'm seeing is helping my clients kind of push past those fears, with that resistance, and up level their confidence in their purpose, their abilities, right? And awaken their dormant abilities that they know that they kind of have, but they aren't really sure and they're kind of wobbling on it. And so we really activate those and then move them forward to showing up as their most truest, authentic version of themselves.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And a lot of the themes I've seen as well are like past lives really affecting their current reality
Mhm.
of like of that fear. And so really for me working through it, with the Akashic records. And when you realize that you are co-creating with the universe, you realize that you have this like choice to move forward. And if you like choice to step into the fear and like the universe, when you are co-creating with the universe, will put things in front of you to choose better and choose expansive. So for example, my Instagram was hacked last year. I had a
Oh.
personal Instagram and a business Instagram.
Mhm.
And my personal one was hacked. And I could feel that there was this like separation between my business self and my personal self. And I
Mhm.
can feel that it was like verging this identity, right? And so
Yeah.
when my impersonal Instagram was hacked, there's a reason for that. Exactly. I went through this like mini identity crisis. And ultimately I deleted that one. And I now kind of integrate both of them as my full
Mhm.
self, right? And so when you are in alignment and working with the universe and asking for their support, they will put these things in your way to help support that expansion. It's not easy. I did not enjoy having my
No.
personal Instagram hacked, but I was able to sit with whatever that was that I was feeling, that
Yeah.
hurt, that it like a betrayal of someone, right? Who you don't even know. It was probably just an AI person, but just like the weird things and being able to like, okay, I'm gonna take personal responsibility for how I'm feeling in this moment and how can I transmute that and move to this like person who understands like, okay, this is a lesson for me to integrate my full self, accept my full self and see this as that lesson so that I can express myself fully on my business. And now my business account is beautiful and I do all the things and it feels really good to show up in that way.
Yeah.
But that version of me in April when that happened, I didn't know that I would feel this way, right? So it's like when you do move through that resistance or that block, ultimately you have freedom on the other side. You just don't know. Your body doesn't know that that's safe because it's new.
Yeah, it kind of makes me laugh because, we always say, like, what you don't remove from your environment that's no longer meant for you, the universe will remove it for you. And it will be a whole lot harder than if you would have done it yourself. Right. So it's like, you probably knew, like, for a while that you probably should merge it, but kind of were resisting it for, the obvious reasons. Right. Or, maybe not obvious reasons. But, like, it was time. So the universe is like, "Okay, we're done waiting, like, bye. Like, we don't have time for this anymore. Like, we need you to show up as this," like you said, true authentic version of yourself. And, all my clients, I tell them the same thing, like, "No, you don't have separate accounts. Like, it's one account, right? Like, you share personal life and business stuff all together because that's who you are, right? Like, it's who you are in essence, and your personal people can see that and your business people want to know the personal side of you as well because that's how we connect with others, right? Is like how we're living shared experiences and what we're feeling on a daily basis. It's all about more authentic and deeper connections with others when we're helping each other and just like not just showing only the good parts, right? But showing, the not so great parts. Now, I'm not saying that you have to show everything that you're going through, right? But maybe after you've gone through it, share what you've been through and how you came out of it, right? Right now I'm doing a full 4-week autoimmune protocol reset thing, and it's like eliminating everything. And yesterday I was like a zombie and I came on, Instagram, and I was like, I am not okay. Like, just, I'm quiet right now because the headache was like crazy, like the brain fog. Felt like a different person. And all now I feel like because I did that, like today I'm like a new person. I was like, what happened in less than 24 hours? I'm like, whoo, but it's sharing every piece of me, not just how I serve others and show up.
Absolutely. And last year, I really experimented with my Instagram showing up in different ways. And
Mhm.
it's funny because the parts or the skits that you might think are the scariest or the things that you share that are the most vulnerable are always 100% the things that people resonate with the most, or I get
Yeah.
the most feedback from, or people reach out to me the most, or that's like my biggest, sale weeks. And
Yeah.
it's because they're seeing that part of you that's vulnerable. It's connecting to a part of them that they see in themselves. So that was such a beautiful, beautiful message.
Yeah, for sure.
So where can all my clients find you or listeners find you? And what are you offering right now?
So you can find me everywhere on social media under my name, Elizabeth Planson. That's my handle. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. There are different ways to work with me. I do offer one-on-one sessions where it's either an activation or a healing or mentorship kind of session. I'm certified in multiple modalities. I also have a monthly membership called Radiance, and this is where I am leading everyone through a monthly Kundalini yoga class and then a new Kriya every month. You also get a light language activation or healing every month, a group one, and then there's hot seat coaching. So there's like a hot seat coaching day and mastermind days, and then there's a whole library in there of past classes, past healings. There's master classes, there's EFT scripts, like there's so much in there. So I would love for you to check it out. There is a 7-day free trial for anyone that's interested. And then, of course, on my website as well, I have a ton of free resources with different things as well. There's a manifestation bundle on there. There's the Kundalini yoga intro to that, and then there is a soul purpose activation on there as well.
So beautiful, Elizabeth. I'm going to put everything in the show notes. And I didn't even realize that you go by activator because I also go by like soul activator. And it's really like supporting and guiding others and remembering, right, who
Mhm.
they are, their gifts. I think it's just so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's truly what it is. It's like when you're activating them and everyone does different things in their own way. So, for me, it's activating them in their soul purpose, their soul gifts, the truest expression of themselves. And like I said, their next level abundance. Like, let's be real, wealth and abundance is important to me as well, and helping others experience that as well. Because in this 3D reality, that's how the world goes round right now. And so it's important. And so we don't want to leave that part out.
Yes. Ah,
Yeah.
so beautiful. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for co creating this beautiful space with you. And I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you so much for having me. I was so enjoyed this conversation.
Bye.